become available. This is a 190-acre piece of property. A lot of it is in woods, but you know what? They can come down. Right? I mean, that's what they make chainsaws for, right? At any rate, one of the things, and Ramona with the Rock and Roll Express, you are to report to the tower somewhere along the line, because I'm more than happy to do this on its own merits. Ramona with the Rock and Roll Express is a correctional officer, and she's with the Bob Buckley bunch with the Rock and Roll Express, and she asked me to say a piece, and I'm more than happy to do it. I am absolutely happy to do this. A dedication for the members of our law enforcement and first responders. They put their lives on the line every day for others, and for all those who have lost their lives in the line of duty, thank you. So we're more than happy to do that. So with that being said, Brian Steele, I think we're ready to rip. And what Mark said to me, my father was a casualty of a war. And there's no way I could read this and get through it. And I said, I'll do it. And I got to tell you, to be honest with you, I had all I could do to get through this. In fact, it's hard to even talk about it. Because you think of those who have given so much, so characters like me and you can have all this fun. It really is something to think about. It really is. And now the volatile times we live in, unbelievable. We are ready to go racing, I'm told. We are ready to go racing. Saturday night Meltdown drags, and you're all most welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, what a great audience. If you would do me one favor, if you would put any and all deposits in one of the barrels. I know that there's several of them that are running over, but if you could do that, we'd really appreciate it. One can only imagine what kind of a mess this is going to be to clean up. But it could be a whole lot worse. But thanks to you that have went out of your way to protect this environment, thank you. All right, we're ready to go. Speaking of first responders, here is a Chicago policeman. And as I said earlier, in spite of all his antics with this thing, this is nothing compared to walking the streets of Chicago as a Chicago policeman. This is Mike Bellina of Chicago, Illinois. Bellina might be waiting for someone else, I'm not sure. We need a jump box, as it turns out. We need a jump box. If anyone has a jump box, needs the jump box? The Studebaker? I thought most of these guys were running alternators. A jump box is needed by someone out here. Oh, here comes the jump box. It's taken care of. Just for the delay, ladies and gentlemen, but things like this, mechanical vehicles, every now and then, you get bit. Being the professional, understanding group of people you are, you know all of that. You don't need a character like me telling you that. You know it already. And if we're not going to get that started, can we get somebody else? Headphone, Joey, headphone. We need to get going here, fellas. Yeah, these cars are paired. They will be back, but in the meantime, till they can get on top of things, we are going to go somewhere else. Double eight gas! Double eight gas supercharge will be next, my friends. Double eight gas supercharge will be next. All right, well, they got it started. Bill Bierman, the Suicide King, with a Studebaker, a later model Studebaker, if you will. Alright! Here we go, bumper, rear bumper action. Have a camera, have it ready to go, have it ready to go. Yeah. The louder the crowd, the higher, the better, the bigger the wheelies. The louder the crowd, the better the wheelies. Simple as it is. These are performers. If you get into it, they'll get into it. The more you get into it, the more they're going to get into it. They're no different than rock stars, just not as well paid. Watch! All right, Mike Polina, the Studebaker slams the wall. The Studebaker slams the wall, but he's not deterred in the least. He puts the hammer down and moves forward. Polina, 1030, 127.40. The Wall Rider, 1532, 81 miles an hour. He's like a dog that leaves his scent. The Studebaker. Studebaker driver left his mark on the Byron Dragway wall. So the attendants, the first responders, are checking him out, but he's okay. Okay, this is a fourth coming. This will be in 2017. You're kidding. Randy Wagner and his AA fuel altered, and Randy Winkle, oh, okay, that's how you're going to do it, in Stormy Bird's Revelation Modified Roadster. That's what I heard. I came over there just a few minutes ago checking on you guys. And I found out that Randy Winkle had no oil pressure, tried everything he could think of, you guys, all of you from California, and could not get any oil pressure. So Winkle is going to be driving Stormy Bird's Revolution Modified Blown Roadster. Modified blown fuel roadster. Original. Well, look at how clean that wall looks where that Studi made contact. Look at how clean that looks down there. Looks like it's been hosed down. It looks like it's been pressure washed. Davis, photographer at large. He used to be a correctional officer in Minnesota. Retired and now follows drag racing throughout the country. The 2016 Meltdown drag sponsors, ladies and gentlemen, include Gasser Wars Magazine, South Oak Dodge Hot Rod Deluxe, which of course is a magazine that covers this event thoroughly. Thanks to Mr. Bob McClung of Hawaii, who came in here specially to cover the event for Hot Rod Deluxe, and he has a table almost behind the tower, but a little bit to the north, in which he is selling some of the books he's put together, that he has written on the history of this or that, all pertaining to motorsports and high-performance cars. Hot Rod Deluxe, Suburban Chevrolet, Southern Minnesota Auto Supply, Moser Engineering of Indiana, Sherman Hawley, Traditional Rod and Culture Magazine. Don's Auto Parts and Machine Shop, Classic Instruments, Stuart Warner Instruments, Classics Plus, Elkey Digger, Raider Wheels, Stein Jagger, Bangshift.com, Brothers Auto Body and Repair, Gopher State Timing Association, Morley Performance, MSD Ignition, NAPA Napa, Rock Chevrolet in Grays Lake, Illinois, Wigner's Auto Body, Tull City Tires, Cometic Gaskets, Fast Times Rods, Titan Speed Engineering, Wizards Products, Citizens Bank, Fabcraft Metal Works, Hotheads Research and Racing, Creative Customs Chop Shop, Brothers Specialty Auto Parts, Summit Racing, Strange Engineering, Webco, Craftsman Tools, CP, Corello Pistons, Eastwood, ATI Performance Products, ATD Transmissions and Converters, Autometer Competition Instruments, Autometer Gauges, and they're here on the west side of the track with a complete display of their various products made in America. They are out of Sycamore, Illinois. They are in business for over 50 years. That is Autometer Competition Instruments. Good Vibrations, Midwest Muncie, Milwaukee Brewing Company, Competition Products, Weld Specialty Gas and Equipment, Supercharger Supply, Canadian Hot Rod Magazine, National Fleet Graphics, Wisconsin Hot Rod Radio, Lincoln Electric, Madison Classics, NGK Spark Plugs, Airgas, Car Deluxe Magazine, Old School Rods, American Rebel Wheels, DJ Safety Equipment. Look at this beautiful car. Mark Benjamin, Sargent Falls, Ohio. Benjamin with a 33 Willys and a 400 cubic inch supercharged small block Chevy. All right, Bob Cook, car number 1171. Bob Cook, Sargent Falls, Ohio. Oh my, wow. The Ohio Outlaws, ladies and gentlemen, the Ohio Outlaws, AA gas supercharged cars, a 57, a 1957 Corvette with a 454 Chevy. And there's Dougie with his oversized camera. We have all kinds of photographers, reporters, writers for the various racing magazines here with us. And Dennis Mothershed of Victory Driveline Components. I can see him from here. We have Dave Dennis. Dan Davis. Excuse me, Dave Davis here with us. This will be 8th Mile, ladies and gentlemen, 8th Mile. AA gas supercharged Mark Benjamin here at the wheel of the 33 Willys, Mr. Bob Cook of Ohio at the wheel of the 1957 Corvette. Oh, with blowers. Oh. Power. You get so turned on, you get heartburn listening and watching this stuff. Right, if you got any Rolaids, I may need them. Hey, with Mr. Bill's, and the Willie. The Corvette over the finish line. 567, 123.77, 701. You can see Mark Benjamin having difficulty. Right, coming up next. The car that is on the cover of the brand new Gasser Wars magazine. The cover car is that Angla in the far lane, number 4242. That is Todd Barker, Marlow, Oklahoma. Marlow, or maybe it's Ohio, I'm sorry. I believe it's probably Ohio. Owner, Rise by Jet, 48 Angle, 427 Chevy. Here in the Tower Lane, number 48A. 48A. That is Al Borowski, West Seneca, New York. West Seneca, New York. 427 Chevy, 48 Angler. Scott Rod. Too many to talk about. Oh! From West Seneca, New York. The green, the beautiful Scott Rod, 48 Angler. With a 427 Chevrolet for power. All right, here we go. Whoa! The Angula 001 reaction time. Spectator lane, 546, 128.09. 128.09. All right, coming up next, number 315. Brian Spot, Polk, Ohio. He is a highway maintenance director, 48 Ford Angler, 427 Chevy, racing a Gasser with the Ohio Outlaws. All right, here in the Tower Lane, number 512, ladies and gentlemen. Mike Konowski of Orchard Park, New York, in the orange car. From Orchard Park, New York, 48 Angler, big black Chevy. Oh, the sound. When you go out west, you talk about the smell. Here you talk about the sound. The sound and the performance. 8th mile, the Ohio Outlaws. Here we go. Austin is in the lead. Here comes the Angler from New York. 568, 123.10. 587, 107.14. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is the second week in a row we've had the 8th mile in action here at the Playground of Power. Last week it was the second annual streetcar shootout on Friday night. That was absolutely unbelievable. We had full-bodied cars, no wheelie bars, none of that. Running in the 470s at 155 miles an hour in the 8th. Absolutely incredible. The second annual streetcar shootout. And they were exactly what I'm telling you, streetcar shootout. There is a Willys from New York that is absolutely unbelievable. Now we go, ladies and gentlemen, to the Summit Racing Equipment. Nostalgia AA gas supercharged cars. The crazy man's toy. That is Tim Irwin of Portland, Indiana. It is a 1948 Ford Anglia, a 48 Ford Anglia, and it is powered by a 427 cubic inch small block Chevy. Code Blue, Code Blue. That is Mr. Driver Motoring Mike Campolucci from Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Code Blue, ladies and gentlemen. Adam Wiles and Larry Morton. Larry Morton, incidentally, is the owner. Hometown, Caledon, East Ontario, Canada. Sponsor, Morton Classics. 369 cubic inch small block Chevy in the 33 Willys. Code Blue. Code Blue. Nostalgia AA Gassers Supercharged, presented by Summit Racing Equipment. Crazy Man's Toy. Mr. Tim Irwin. This car is currently for sale. Cold Blue. Currently for sale. If there's somebody in the audience tonight that would like to buy a premium ride for themselves, you just won a lotto. You just sold a business. You just got it. Well, whatever. You get the idea. Cold Blue is for sale. Cold Blue. Wow, and Cold Blue hauled from Canada, ladies. $498, the first guy in the Ford. $498, 140.55 Cold Blue. Wow, 804, 6967. When I just said that, I could hear you back there. Like, what kind of crap is he spelling with that 4-second stuff at 155 miles an hour last Friday night with those unbelievable 275 drag radio cars. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there's more treats to come. This is like Halloween, except there's no tricks, just treats. That's what it's about at the Meltdown, and the treats just keep coming. The hits just keep rolling. All right. The Caged Heat. Caged Heat. 33 Willys. This is Al Jr. Al Oshinsky Jr. from Pembroke, New York. Caged Heat. 33 Willys. A 354 Generation 1 Hemi with a blower. Here in the Tower Lane, it is John Faust of Volant, Pennsylvania. Volant, Pennsylvania. Whoa. These things. Holy smoke. Volant, Pennsylvania versus New York. And ladies and gentlemen, where are you getting all of this? It is at the 2016 Meltdown. Now we need a special favor from each and every one of you. We'd like you to spread the word. We'd like you to become like Jimmy Swaggart or somebody. Spread the word. Spread the word. Tell everybody you know. Be at the Meltdown in 2017. There's nothing like 40 Willys with a 468 big block Chevrolet. Here in the Tower Lane. Here in the Tower Lane. It is certified for 750 in the quarter. Best 8-mile time on the car in the Tower Lane is 5:14. All right. Al Spanowski Jr. Pembroke, New York. Al Jr. Double A Al. I understand it. Driver is Al Jr. No, Al Unser. No, this is not little Al. They just see the guy's pretty good size. A Generation 1 Hemi. 354 cubic inch Hemi. This is the same combination that Jim... All right, New York, Pembroke, New York, 5:06. 135.62 in the Tower Lane. He was skating around. He actually covered more than an 8th mile. 5:54, 127.29, and ladies and gentlemen, you have seen the best of the Summit Racing Equipment Nostalgia AA Supercharged Gassers, along with the prestigious Ohio Outlaw. Now, we go quarter mile. even got a... Sarah Tyree Francis. I see. And she is going to be the Harry Haller's backup girl. I need to investigate this a little further. Sarah Tyree. Tommy the Hitman, where did you come up with that squeeze? Wait a minute. Hey, what about the people in the tower? I mean, imagine this. Wow, that young lady. Shouldered wheelbase cars, ladies and gentlemen, are coming next. Shouldered wheelbase car. The Hitman Mercer, Mr. Bill, Doug Banksness assisting. And moving forward, we have the professional starter for this prestigious event, Mr. Ray Smith. Brian Steele is running the lanes. Mr. Brian Steele. All right, number 2600. What is it? Big Iron. Woo-hoo. Sounds bad, don't it? Big Iron. It's the name of your car. As you look at somebody and Big Iron, what's the name of your car? All right, where's the opponent for this guy? Is somebody chickening out or what's going on? All right, these are the Henrys with this orange and white car. Jim and Brent Henry, Wichita, Kansas, a 64 426 Hemi. The driver is 70-year-old Brent Henry. So if you read between the lines, you would have to come away with the conclusion that once you get into something like this, you stay in it. As Mr. Henry would certainly bad iron. I just love these cars. I mean, you know, drag racing has become so sanitized that all you know about or hear about is peak antifreeze or some pet food of the month or God knows what, lemonade or something or other. All right, bad news. Hey, bad iron. Bad news. What do you think about those apples? Steve Noss. And your North Carolina, here in the Tower Lane, riding on M&H Race Masters. Is Marvin Richin still alive? Does anybody know? He passed away, huh? God, he was a good guy. Everybody loved that guy. All right, Brent Henry. Give him some love! Let us hear it! Some love! Some love! Steve Moss of Angier, North Carolina. 58 years of age with a Hemi 64 Dodge AFX from North Carolina. Here in the Tower Lane. The outside lane, the Henry. Bad iron. Bad iron. Oh, gotta love this stuff. Brett Henry, Jim Henry, Wichita, Kansas. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. Fasten your seatbelts and get ready for some shock. It's coming. These two bad boys, wow, one can only imagine what's going to happen. Wow, and that orange and white cars. I mean, it's almost like an Easter bunny the way he was hopping around. 924 in the Tower Lane at 143.98. Brett Henry. Brett Henry, can you imagine if his head was bouncing off the roll bar with all of those gyrations? He will need a dose of Bear aspirin. Oh, yeah. Oh, well, these guys, they're cool. All right. Number 3611 here in the Tower Lane. That is, ladies and gentlemen, Adam Lohorn of Palmyra, Indiana. Here in the Tower Lane, Indiana. In the outside lane, 3611. Number 3611. That is, whoa. Number 3611. Let's see. Lohorn, Mike and Adam Lohorn of Palmyra, Indiana. They are in the outside lane with the Ford Falcon. Here in the Tower Lane, number 64, that is Dave Walters, Monticello, Illinois. Monticello, Illinois. Adams. Mike and Adam Lohorn, Palmyra, Indiana. Ford Falcon. Ford 1961 Ford Falcon. All right. I have pity for those who have to race this next guy in this red Deuce. He may have a burned out headlight, but he hasn't got a burned out 331 Chevy, I'll tell you that. That baby flat hustle. All right, watch the starter, watch the tree. Oh, red light. All right, the Falcon laid an egg. The Tower Lane, he didn't mean to. 1196, 109.99. John Clark, Clark Speed Special. 331 cubic inch small block Chevy powered Deuce out of Wichita, Kansas. He is in the Tower Lane. In the outside lane. All right, Gary Blasey. Hawthorne Woods, Illinois, 40 Chevy Coupe with a 377 cubic inch small block. Gary Blasey, Hawthorne Woods, Illinois, 40 Chevy Coupe, 377 cubic inch small block. right, he better have that 40 Chevy on kill because this guy in this red deuce, he flat gets with it. Wow, am I believing what I'm seeing? No. The Chevy is the winner, the 40 Chevy, 921, 134.07, John Clark, 980, 130.80. Wow, that was a surprise there. Whoa. Right, number 2 entry. Number 2. That is Paul Pelser. Paul and Megan Pelser. Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, with the Ford Perfect 4-door sedan. Here in the Tower Lane, entry number 550. That is, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Hold on again. That is Tom Cray, Fenton, Missouri. Fenton, Missouri, with a 500-inch Cadillac, powered 40 Willys coupe. The Willys is the winner. 003 red, the Ford Perfect out of Manitoba, a minus 003. Sensational reaction time. All right. Dave Plesser. International Scout. He is from Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, in the International Scout. Way down the track, number 289. Joe Beach of Aurora, Illinois. Joe Beach of Aurora, Illinois, in the 56 Chevy with a blower. Joe Beach himself. A training instructor with a 496 cubic inch Chevy, and if that isn't enough to get the job done, he's thrown a blower on top of all of that. Actually from Sandwich, Illinois. Joe Beach. All right, sponsored by McDonald's. Joe Beach with another killer light. The winner is Joe Beach. 960 versus a 1011. 130 miles an hour in the Tower Lane. 139 in the outside lane. Randy Talavati. Randy Talavati himself. Randy Talavati of South Chicago Heights, Illinois. He is a professional truck driver. That is his trade. He is running a 385 cubic inch small block Chevy with a blower. Here in the Tower Lane, number 96. That is, ladies and gentlemen, number 96. King of Manchester, Michigan. He is in a 210 small block Chevy powered 55 Chevy green on green here in the Tower Lane. Randy Talavati. Listen to that. Listen to the tunes. Top 20 for sure. All right, we got the ornery buzzard. Ornery buzzard. Now, who in the world would classify themselves as the ornery buzzard? One can only imagine his personal disposition. With a name, I mean, I didn't name him, you didn't name him. He named himself the ornery buzzard. I don't know how bad I want to get to know that guy. That is Kevin Krause, a retired test pilot from Oswego, Illinois. Maybe a couple of times he had the canopy open. You know, and it may have affected his overall behavior. Right. Mike Allison on the tower side. Mike is a resident of Yorkville, Illinois. Mike from Yorkville, Illinois. There used to be a guy, Bill Burling, and Jim Woody Woodrow, who was the starter of that Oswego Dragway, and they had a Crosley about like this. One can only wonder, because they were out of Montgomery, Illinois, which is one city over from Yorkville, so one can only wonder if this Crosley didn't belong to that bunch at one time. All right, the Ornery Buzzard, a former test pilot. And here comes a U.S. Marshal, Special Agent Tim Resin, Elgin, Illinois. In the purple All right. Well, who knows? Maybe if the Buzzard wins, it may change him. It may make a new man out of him. And he won. 993, 124.10, 1027 on the Crosley at 123.08. A 29 Studebaker two-door sedan here in the Tower Lane, entry number 155. That is, ladies and gentlemen, number 155. Terry Strolog, Oakdale, Minnesota. Oakdale, Minnesota, here in the Tower Lane. Special U.S. Marshal, Special Agent Tim Resin, Elgin, Illinois, in the blown small block purple Model A. He was just in Bowling Green a few weeks ago, Father's Day weekend, which of course is, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the third weekend in June. He was there, the Special Agent. Is the 29 Studebaker two-door sedan with a time of 10:27, 111.83. Once the Marshal started moving, he moved. He was just a little bit slow moving. 1074 at 125 miles per. All right, number 539 coming up here in the Tower Lane. That is, ladies and gentlemen, number 539, Richard Hayes of Grafton, Wisconsin. In the outside lane with a flathead. And maybe it could be said with the weirdest roll bar configuration of the weekend. And I'm not sure who he is. It's 2B, and Paul Pelzer is also 2B, so I have no idea who this is in the far lane. It is a flathead Ford powered thingy. Right, this thing here looks like it could be, this thing here in the Tower Lane coming up looks like it could be, the next pair could be strong. Matter of fact, that guy over there in the spectator lane, that guy goes all over the place. He goes to Bowling Green, he goes to Bakersfield, he goes all over. He's a traveling man. All right. Here we go. Number 543J. 543J. Jim Herrick of House Springs, Missouri, with the front engine Chevy 406 Chevy powered car in the far lane here in the Tower Lane in this beautiful car number 65. That is, ladies and gentlemen, number 65, Robert Buckley. No, Buckley's got Rock and Roll Express. That isn't who this is. Mike Noveski of Southern Colorado. From Colorado. A retired truck driver. I don't know who it was in the Tower Lane. It was not the guy I just said. At any rate, he was a 1006, the guy from House Springs, Missouri, that travels all over in retirement drag racing. 826, 161.38. This here. The Rebel Rouser. Oh, you gotta love it. You gotta love it. The Rebel Rouser. Right, that's number 427X. 427X. You're gonna have to look that one up, Randy. I don't have a 427X. Thank you. This is Dwayne Rader of West Winchester, Kentucky. He is in the medical field. It is his dad's Alders that he restored. It ran from 59 to 67. It's dead for many, many years. And Dwayne in the Tower Lane has restored it. And there is that incredible flathead powered car out of Roanoke, Virginia. Roanoke, Virginia. All right, it is Charlie and Liz Overfelt, a retired school teacher, 71 years of age, 1923 Ford Roadster, with a blown, of all things, a blown flathead. Whoa! This is going to be interesting. A blown flathead. And I've read about this guy somewhere. This thing, if he's got it tuned right, this blown flathead may surprise all of us. It is very possible. Like I said, very possible. And it's not only possible, it happened. All right, 1083, 123.50. A blown flathead from Roanoke, Virginia. All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen. This one has got a blower and a Hemi. A blower and a Hemi in the far lane. And I believe that is one of the Meltdown officials, number AJ Fingerly, AJ, and car number 604, number 604, AJ, Jason Huntler. Oh, listen to that big Hemi. Whoa. Look at that young lady. God, she's got heels on. Holy smokers. I hope she doesn't hit a bump or something and do an end over end. That could... oh, that is the backup girl I just met. That's Don's daughter. Yes. Number 532. AJ Zangerly of Maquanago, Wisconsin. Maquanago, Wisconsin, with a 63 Woody Gilmore car and a 354 Chrysler. In the Tower Lane, number 92, that is, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jason Metler of Arlington Heights, Illinois. Arlington Heights, Illinois. And that big Hemi, Maquanago, Wisconsin, and the little car in the Tower Lane is chasing hard. The big Hemi with the blower snorts through at 10-12, 116. And that little car was coming from Arlington Heights, Illinois, 1071 with a much greater speed, 135.56. All right. Hey, how are you this evening? We got so many people capturing this prestigious event, my God. Next thing you know, you'll buy a globe at the supermarket this next week, and there it'll be, the Meltdown. right, number 229 coming up. Number 229 Roadster. That is, ladies and gentlemen, Chris Rogue of Bourbon A, Illinois, heavy equipment operator, 301 Chevy 32 Bantam. Here in the Tower Lane, entry number 3030. Number 30, that is Mr. Doug Shepard of Raymond, Nebraska. Raymond, Nebraska. 406 small block Chevy out of Raymond, Nebraska. Doug Shepard. Seth Meyer and Doug Shepard from Raymond, Nebraska. Next to Bruce. All right. It is Ramona and the Buckley. Bob Buckley and Super Tuner Walnick with the low ET and top speed digger of the meat. A fabulous rock and roll express. All right, the digger, the roadster's starting to make his move, but it's too late. The digger is over the finish line. Mr. Shepard from Raymond, Nebraska. 942, 136.79. The heavy equipment operator from Bourbon A, Illinois. 1039, 118.82. Bob Buckley, Moni, Illinois, who operates a, what do you call it, coating. Coating Specialties is the name of his business, Moni, Illinois. And so we got a really interesting group of people over there. Brad is the designated food preparer, the chef of the crowd. Walnick is a walking genius. He is the guy that, he's done so many things. He is the guy that has developed that piece of equipment that the big name teams like Schumacher and Force and all those guys go up to the track. They go the various increments, you know, the starting line 20 feet out, 40 feet out, and check the actual traction with a device that he dreamt up and executed, manufactured. I mean, that's amazing. 795, number 795 here in the Tower Lane with one of those old style paint jobs and injected number 795. Mike Johnson, Marseilles, Illinois. Marseilles, down by Ottawa, actually. A 327 Chevy. All right, this gentleman in the Tower Lane is a CEO of Mar-Tucky Motor Club. So I'm not sure what that is, but he certainly is the big dog of the deal. Mar-Tucky Motor Club. Now, Larry Walnick, the crew chief on the Rock and Roll Express, is the top guy of a huge manufacturing firm in Bolingbrook, Illinois. Ramona on the crew, she is a correctional officer. Talk to her because one of the persons that she was watching over was Drew Peterson of all things. Fascinated by that kind of stuff, I really am. I'm not a crime stopper, I'm a crime watcher. Roars into the night. 738, his best run ever. 738, 178.95. Ramona, good show. Pat Walnick on the back. He's already, his daughter's calling up about the legendary figure and all of that. His daughter is in college in Ames, Iowa, and he called her and told her about 3D TV. And so she logs on, and she called her dad back, and she said, "That man on the speaker said you're a legendary figure. I didn't know that, Dad." This car is from Plymouth, Wisconsin. Plymouth, Wisconsin. Andy Wigner. Oh boy, and Randy's guy, he bit off a good one. Randy Winkle driving the Revelation modified fuel-burning roadster out of Bakersfield, California. Andy Wigner, Plymouth, Wisconsin. A 1931 Ford Steel Roadster with a 570-some-inch Hemi. Excuse me, a 57. I guess that's what it is. A 1957 Hemi with a blow. Oh, the California boys are letting everybody know they're in town and they mean business. California versus Wisconsin. The Roadster out of Wisconsin. Oh, and Randy Winkle. Randy is off on an incredible run, but he red lighted. 7:43. He could give Bob Buckley a run for his money. 100, that's the new top speed. 183.22. Randy Winkle of Bakersfield, California. A Moso Speed Shop has spoken. And that is really, ladies and gentlemen, give these guys a big hand. Coming all the way from California, they started up the one car and had no oil pressure. They tore it down. They came to the conclusion that there was something wrong with a main, one of the mains. But all the way from California, and they now have blown Buckley right out of the water with a 183-mile-an-hour blast. All right, this is entry number. The part on the track shut the big Hemi off. Bob Schultz of Wheatland, this handwriting is so horrible. What does that say? Winthrop Harbor? This guy had to have been receiving failing marks in school for penmanship. This is one of the worst I've seen in months. Winthrop Harbor, Illinois, the big Hemi, Bob Schultz. Outside lane, the Crosley. Who's in the Crosley, fellas? That is Ron Green of Janesville, Wisconsin, with a small block Chevy powered 48 Willies. All right, well, it looks as though the crews are returning to their duty stations. The first responders look to be returning to their area. We will have them notify us, but it looks like the track is clear. Mr. Smith, Starter Smith, is that what you're seeing and hearing? It is clear. It is clear. Ron Green, Janesville, Wisconsin, 48 Crosley, Byron Hill Lane, here in the Tower Lane. It is the Big Hemi, number 313 in your program. Bob Schultz, Winthrop Harbor, Illinois. Muscle Motors. Muscle Motors. The High Noon Bandit. The High Noon Bandit. Ron Green, Janesville, Wisconsin, Crosley. Hey. Oh, well, he wasn't going to wait for the Crosley, apparently. All right, Ron Green, Janesville, Wisconsin, in the Crosley. Here in the Tower Lane in this Chevrolet sedan, a 39 or 40. That is Jay Larson of Beloit, Wisconsin. Larson Motorsports. Wisconsin said, I'm out of here. The light turned green and he took off like he was almost like he was molested or something. 11:21, 114.72. And you see the gentleman over there in his Mistress, which is a 32 5-window Chevy Coupe, the Mistress. He is all the way from the state of Washington, 78 years old, living the dream. All right, Jay Larson, who's had this thing running really good today. Something going wrong for Mr. Larson of Larson Motors. Larson Motorsports comes to life. All right, Larson Motorsports. Boy, that thing has been running so good all weekend, and now all of a sudden it, you can't help but feel sorry for the guy. I don't know what happened there. I have no idea. No explanation to offer. 286 coming up next. That, ladies and gentlemen, would be Mr. Floyd, Sioux Falls, South Dakota, in the yellow two-door Model A sedan, and he is running a Ford Flathead. A Ford Flathead. Action continued. Ladies and gentlemen, Mark Dietrich at this time. Mark Dietrich, MC, Meltdown MC, and I'll call it a day, and thank you ever so much, all of you, for being here, being the outstanding group of people that you've been, the outstanding care that you have given to the Byron Dragway. Thank you ever so much. Don't leave just because I'm copping a snake. There's a lot to go, and Mark is going to tell you about it. Mark will tell you all about it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are in the process of getting that car down off of the top end. We will be back underway racing in a few minutes. Make sure you stick around. We are not done racing. We will be going until about 10:30 this evening. Okay, it looks like they got them hooked up, and as soon as they get them pulled off, we're going back to racing. We got some treats coming for you yet tonight. Day number 2 of the 2016 Meltdown Drags here at Byron Dragway under the lights for the second night in a row. Attention in the stands, Josh from Brothers Auto Parts. Please meet, you have a customer at your booth that needs to pick up some stuff. Josh from Brothers Auto Parts. Please meet a customer at your booth. You have some stuff that needs to be picked up. He is picking up some stuff from you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, take a look at this altered wheelbase action right here at the Meltdown under the lights. The Max Attack in the tower lane. Look at this beautiful machine, a pair of 1965 Dodge Coronets. Hemi power. The Gold Digger in lane number 2, John Grinwald, going up against the Max Attack here in the tower lane. Clay Gossett out of Kanawasa, Missouri. A retiree from Chrysler Corporation. Big smoking burn-ups on both cars. Look at Grinwald go! Wow! How about it? 400 feet. Twice the length of a football field in that old Dodge. Oh man, is that amazing? Nostalgia Super Stock in action here at the Meltdown Drags tonight. John Grinwald over in lane number 2. Watertown, Wisconsin. Mechanical injection on that 426 Hemi over in lane number 2. This is what the match race madness was all about back in the day, and these cars are bringing it to life for you. That's the reason that they're called funny cars. The altered wheelbases from the factory. Here we go. Side by side, right off the starting line, top end charge for the Gold Digger takes the win light, 875 at 152 miles an hour. 968 with a 7 at 140 miles an hour here in the tower lane. All right, Moparius Maximus is coming out next. I know he was looking for a match racer. I hear a bunch of cheering. Oh man, it's gonna get loud, folks. How about it? Larry Grenko from Muscatine, Iowa. Machinist by trade, 572 cubic inches of wedge under the hood of that car. It is not a Hemi. 1963 Plymouth Belvedere. Listen to that car run. Tip in the can. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Putting it up on the wheelie bars. Not once, but twice. All the way down, 899 with a 9 at 157.76 miles per hour, the Moparius Maximus. Your next pair, a beautiful pair of cars, car and a truck. Brian and June Huffman out of Kewanee, Illinois. Brian Huffman behind the wheel has been drag racing for 46 years. Bought this Willys pickup for street use and decided he wanted to go drag racing with it. Sponsored by Social Security. Going up against Brandon Beach. Daddy's thing, the 1958 Chevrolet here in the Tower Lane. Look at that! Big smoking burnouts out of both cars. Brandon Beach, Aurora, Illinois, the Bel Air auto body technician. Works with his father. I believe the whole family is involved in the business. And look at this beautiful machine. Metal flake all over the place this weekend. The bigger, the better. Only the strong survive on the trunk lid of that car. Here we go. Both cars are in. Oh, and Brandon jumps the light. The Huffman Willys in lane number 2 is the automatic winner. Side by side through the lights, 10:34 with a 3 at 128 miles an hour. Ted Beach, ladies and gentlemen, the 1937 Chevrolet. Going up against the class reunion, 1951 Chevrolet here in the Tower Lane. All right. Ted Beach, lane number 2. That car's been around the block many times. All over the United States for many years. Green lights all the way around. Quick reaction time here in the Tower Lane. The 1951 Chevrolet out ahead of the old fendered hot rod 955 with a 1 at 137 miles an hour. 9:49, the faster elapsed time for Beach. All right, our next pair getting ready to go. I think this may be a single. The Willys pickup here in the Tower Lane. Looks like he might be running. No, he is not running by himself. I apologize. Jeff Holgood, Newburgh, Indiana. Woodworker by trade, the 1941 Willys Big Block Chevrolet Power, 454 cubic inches. Going up against the Chevrolet in lane number 2. Steve Vickery from Hodgenville, Kentucky. All the way from Kentucky. Another 454 cubic inch Chevrolet under the hood of the 55. The Willys gets their first 1077 with a 2 at 119 miles an hour. Studebaker versus American Motors. Two things you'd never expect to hear over the PA system at any racetrack anymore. The Lark Ness Monster, beautiful machine here tower side. I love both of these cars. They are just amazing. Mike Lewis from Westchester, Ohio, an auto painter by trade, the Lark Ness Monster. Wow, look at that up on the wheelie bars. Mark from St. Louis, Missouri, driving the Rambler American in lane number 2. The Rambler, 11-12 at 119 miles an hour. Look at the big smoky burnout. The Bacon family, side-by-side family feud. These guys have been going at it all afternoon. father and son. Ben Bacon in lane number 2. Driving the 1941 Willys. 355. Fuel injected. Small block. Ben Bacon from Kingston. Driving the Anglia. Also a small block on fuel injection. 1082 with an 8. 118 miles an hour. The Henry J. The Henry J. Mike Breckenridge, Northfield, Minnesota, lane number 2. That's not Mike Breckenridge. The Rotten Orange, fuel-injected Chevrolet. Johnny Rotten. Hey, he put a couple of records out, didn't he? Here in the tower lane. He's looking for a date. Johnny Rotten is looking for a date. John Densky from Plymouth, Michigan. He sells dirt for a living. Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. Everybody needs dirt. TMZ made a fortune on dirt. At the stripe, it is lane number 2, 1053 with a 3 at 130 miles an hour. I like this old car here in the tower lane. This thing is beautiful. The old B-Gas Chevrolet. Entry number 540, 540. All right, top end is clear. We're going to it. Steve Morley from Arnold, Missouri, the 1930 Ford Coupe here in the tower lane. His opponent in lane number 2. His opponent, Dean Markison from Minnesota. The Chevrolet from Minnesota, not enough to get it done. 1071 at 112 miles an hour here in the tower lane. The High Life Falcon here in lane number 1, the tower side. Galloway, Mackinac, Illinois. Kip Galloway driving the 61 Ford Falcon Big Block. Big Block Ford power. The Pontiac Bill Evelyn from Canton, Illinois. Pontiac Power takes the win. Pontiac Power takes the win. 1060 with a 7 at 125 miles per hour. Nothing like racing under the lights here at Byron Dragway for the 2016 Meltdown Drags. We thank you all for sticking around, folks. At the stripe, it is the Willys. 11:59 with an 8 at 110 miles an hour. Dave Adams from Minneapolis taking the win on that pass. All right, the AFX machine, factory experimental Ford Falcon here in the tower lane. Joe Lunsford Shiloh, Ohio, CNC technician by trade. Ford makes it, Chevy shakes it, Chevrolet power. And that machine going up against the Studebaker, the old Studebaker with a Cadillac engine in it. Stephen Rice out of Muskota, Wisconsin. I don't care who you are, man, that thing is cool. An old Studebaker, 1948 Studebaker champion with a Cadillac engine. You can see what his daily driver is. 1936 Dodge, and he drives it in the snow and everything. He pulled the trailer here with that car today. 1256 with a 3 at 111 miles an hour. Lane number 1, the Falcon. Speaking of Falcons, we have another Ford Falcon here in the Tower Lane. Tompkins Carburetor Service. Boy, I can't remember the last time I saw a carburetor shop. Lapeer, Michigan. 1960 Ford Falcon, Ford Power. Ford Power. Jack Gaylor, Gillespie, Illinois, in lane number 2. The Rambler American, the Brooklyn Rambler. Close race, 1086 to a 1097. Big smoking burnouts out of both cars. Jesse James. Not the guy you're thinking of. Jesse James here in the Tower Lane. 440 cubic inches of Mopar power underneath this Willys. J.T. Moses out of Brazelton, Georgia, the 1956 Chevrolet. Big block Chevrolet powered machine. Chevrolet versus Mopar. The Willys slowly moving into the lights. Here we go. Green lights all the way around. Nice reaction times out of both cars. These guys got it going on tonight. At the stripe, it is the Chevrolet 1012 with an 8 at 128 miles an hour to a 1044 with a 9. Dave Vershave driving the 55 Chevrolet over there in lane number 2. Rick and Mark Paniton, Wilkesboro, North Carolina. Look at that, his backup lights even work. That's what you need to have. The 1956 Chevrolet in the Tower Lane, yesterday's child. From North Carolina. Small block Chevrolet power. Dave Vershave with a 427 underneath the hood of that 55. Having a ton of fun. He is a hot rod painter by trade. And it shows. Hard launch by Dave in the 55 Chevrolet. Smoking the tires a little bit here in the Tower Lane. 1080 at 125 miles an hour. The Sour Grape. The Sour Grape here in the Tower Lane. Going up against the Falcon. Factory Experimental. Kevin Dark from Perry, Kansas. Air Force pilot driving the Ford Falcon in lane number 2. Art Beeler from South Beloit, Illinois, driving the Chevy Deuce. The Border Bandits Car Club. Oh, it! Big smoky burnout here in the Tower Lane. Alright, looks like he turned on the air conditioner to back up here. Gotta be able to see what he's doing, all that smoke in the car. How about it? The sinister Chevrolet. Rick's Speed Shop. Bill Brown out of North Lake, Illinois. That's not Bill Brown. All right. Rich Meyer driving the 1940 Chevrolet in lane number 2. And the Tower side, 1124 at 122 miles an hour. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have the battle once again. The Famoso Speed Shop going up against Coop Miner and Sons. Both of these guys beating the snot out of their cars, all the way from Bakersfield, California, here in the Tower Lane. 327 power. 327 under the hood here in lane number 1. Coop Miner and Sons in lane number 2. 1955 Chevrolet, 301 cubic inches. Wisconsin versus California. Side by side, and it looks like Coop Miner gets the win, 1162 with a 2 at 119 miles an hour to 1177 for the Famoso Speed Shop. I haven't been keeping track of who's got more wins under their belt tonight. Mark Hagan from Hebron, Illinois, driving the 1940 Willys Coupe all-steel machine here in the Tower Lane. Going up against the Plymouth Valiant in lane number 2. Eric Zinfinelli from Oak Park, Illinois, small block powered Plymouth Valiant. The Willys with a 1031 at 128 miles per hour. Mark Davis from Trevor, Wisconsin. Don't ever call it Trevor, Wisconsin. They will come after you. He won at Famoso in 1966 in C-Gas. This car won back in 1966, that very automobile. He didn't drive because he's a little too young for that. Bruce and Doug Henning in lane number 2, 1145 with a 2 at 116 miles an hour. The Henning Ford Victoria gets the win. Oh, about it! Big smoking burnout for Zielsdorf. 14 seconds. He's slowing down a little bit. The Harry Hauler, Paul Zielsdorf. And that is Sarah Tyree Francis out there backing him up. Give it up for Sarah helping out with the Harry Hauler tonight. Jeffrey Jacobson driving the Model T Coupe. Lone, 354 cubic inch Hemi. Owns a body shop. And he drives that old chop-top phone booth over there in lane number 2. Side by side at the hit, it looks like Zeeldorf is out ahead by a couple lengths. The Harry Hauler. The Harry Hauler. No, not enough. 10:35 with a 4 to a 10:61. The Harry Hauler got a haircut. All right, the Meltdown crew coming out. Ron driving the Charger here in the tower lane. And look at this four-door machine, Brian. Brian Fortier out of South Milwaukee. 1961 Chevrolet Impala. Small block power. Think about that. This little four-door small block. Watch these cars. Green lights all the way around. It looks like the Mopar is out ahead. The Charger 1173 at 113 miles an hour. All right, our next pair, shiftless. Joanne Lau out of Plymouth, Wisconsin here in the tower lane. Joanne Lau. Jim Miller out of Camp Lake, Wisconsin, driving the 1955 Ford Fairlane. Both cars from Wisconsin. Joanne with the killer reaction time here in the tower lane. The Ford not gonna catch up. Look at that, 1394, 98 miles an hour. All right, you saw Joanne. Dan Lau. Right there in lane number 1. And the Sauerkraut Volkswagen Farfignugan machine. 1219 at 107 miles an hour to a 1202 at 108. The Volkswagen got there first, but not by much. No. All right, a pair of super stocks. Nostalgia super stocks in the house. Ford versus Plymouth. The Mopar gets there first, 10:30 with a Ford, 129 miles an hour. Josh Widener from Harvard, Illinois, the 1962 Chevrolet Biscayne. Single pass here in the tower lane. Big smoky burnout out of the machine in lane number 2. Looks like a thunderbolt from up here. '64 Fairlane. Mitch Menino from Crown Point, Indiana, in lane number 2. His opponent, Ivan Borg. All the way from Ontario, the Galaxy. Galaxy versus the Fairlane. Cobra jet powered. Galaxy gets the win. No. 1161 in lane number 2. Double A Automotive getting lined up here in the tower lane. George Adams from Arnold, Missouri. He's lived this long and he's happy. 70 years old this year. His opponent, Marty from Como, Wisconsin. The Man Party. What it says, 1964 Chevy Nova. Lane number 1, 1176 at 115 miles an hour. The Man Party just lost his man card. The one-man party. Well, if it's only one person, how can it be a party? The Tough 2 Chevy Deuce. Chevy Deuce in lane 1. 63 Chevy Nova in lane number 2. The Deuce with a 1044 to a 1052. Close side-by-side race. Look at that little Falcon go. Mike Zettel out of Forreston, Illinois. The 1963 Ford Falcon AFX machine. Mystery power plant under the hood. This is the first time this car has been at the Meltdown. The first time this car has been raced. Just completed recently. In lane number 2. Factory Experimental Chevrolet. The Bad Apple. The Bad Apple. All right. Altered wheelbase versus altered wheelbase. The Bad Apple against the Falcon. The Falcon gets the win. How about them apples? No, the apple, Bad Apple. The apple of my eye. 1273 at 104 miles an hour. Smoke it! The Zettel Brothers Pontiac here in the tower lane. The Zettel family has an affinity for altered wheelbase machines, and this is Steve Zettel from Forreston, Illinois. The 1965 Pontiac powered machine. Brad Thompson from Sanger, Texas, driving the Pontiac Tempest, the altered wheelbase machine, in lane number 2. Both of these cars powered by Pontiac, and they are both altered wheelbase Pontiac machines. Look at that machine going on the bars in lane number 2 from Texas. They do everything bigger in Texas, including how far they move the wheels forward. 1040 at 127 miles an hour. Look at this tribute to Dino Don Nicholson. Is that beautiful? Robert Allen from Rolla, Missouri, 1964 Mercury Comet, 427 FE powered machine. Randy Allen, Missouri in lane number 2, the 1963 Galaxy. The Allen family feud. 11:53 with an 8 to a 12:50, 117 miles an hour the wind. Here comes the Okie Twister in the tower lane. Dave Tanner out of Goodman, Missouri, the 1932 Chevrolet 5-window machine, 400 cubic inches under the non-existent hood in lane number 2, and the Okie Twister here in the tower lane. Hooley Huffman from Chelsea, Oklahoma, retired, 1951 Henry J. Just glad to be here, he says. Well, we're glad you're here too. And we're glad you brought your car with you. The old Chevrolet staged up and ready to go. No courtesy stage. He rolled out, he backed out and rolled back in. Alright. So excited he got himself a red light. And the stripe it is lane number 2, 972. How about it? 971 to a 972. The Rude Snood making a fog bank here in lane number 2. All right, the gift of time, Chevrolet. Beautiful Corvette here in the tower lane, and the Rude Snood Scavengers Car Club machine in lane number 2. Steve from Missouri, driving the 1959 Chevrolet here in the tower lane. Both cars are in. And we have green lights on both sides of the Christmas tree. The Studebaker quicker at the hit, but the Corvette drives around him at the top end. Top end charge 943 at 133 miles an hour. I love this machine, the Tokyo Rose. Look at that hot rod. B&M Hydro on the trunk. Carmine's Body Shop out of Delaware sponsored machine, a tribute to Grumpy Jenkins. Mike Zepinowski from Minnesota. At the stripe, 1245 at 105 miles an hour. The ratified Model A. Dale Lindquist, the 1930 Ford Coupe, 396 power, 60 years old, from Blooming Prairie, Minnesota, here in the tower lane. His opponent, Mark Schunauer, from Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin. They make beer up there somewhere. 1179, 1138 for the Chippewa Falls machine, gets the win. Gordy driving the car in lane number 2, the Road Oiler machine, going up against the Plymouth Valiant here in lane number 1. Brian from Manchesney Park. These guys, the family feud, father and son. Early Hemi under the hood of the Valiant. And the old Studebaker, that car used to run out here many, many years ago. looks like we have a motorcycle lining up way outside the groove over here in lane number 2. Mark Wang out of DeSoto, Wisconsin, the 1970 Harley-Davidson here in lane number 1, the tower side. And Jake Wang also from DeSoto, Wisconsin in lane number 2. The 1969 Harley-Davidson takes the win light against the 1970 vintage machine. Look at the handlebars on this thing. Check this bike out. Lee Wickstrom from Carver, Minnesota. The 1947 Harley-Davidson Knucklehead. This guy is an AMRA Pro Stock National Champion, 1986 and 1987. How about that for Lee Wickstrom on this the motorcycle here in lane number 1. Take a look at this pass. 12:16 with a 5 at 106 miles an hour. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the finale. This is our last run of the night. Give it up, ladies and gentlemen. Make some noise. This is it, the last run of the night. He's got nitromethane in the tank. Oh, man, here we go. He is tipping the can over there in lane number 2. That's right. Make some noise, ladies and gentlemen. This is it.
Ladies and gentlemen, you've been a part of history tonight. This is the 7th annual Meltdown Drags. Is the biggest event in Byron Dragway's 52-year history. And that's all credit to everybody in the grandstands who bought a ticket tonight. Thank you so much for being a part of history and making the 2016 edition of Meltdown Drags the biggest and best event at the Playground of Power yet. And you know what, Mark? I think next year's only going to be bigger.
You could bet your behind it will be. And ladies and gentlemen, give yourself a round of applause for bringing it here tonight. You are living history here at Byron Dragway. Todd Barker from Marlow. The 1948 Anglia, the Gasser Wars magazine cover car for this month. Look at the flames coming out of this thing. Make some noise. Tipping the can tonight. He has got nitro in the tank. Todd Barker. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for the little bit and take a whiff of what's going on out there on the starting line. The last pass of the night here at Byron Dragway, the 2016 Meltdown Drags, day number 2. Concluding with this machine. You saw the flames popping out of this thing. He's tipping the can. Look at that. Get your cameras out, folks. Putting on a little cackle show for you there in the far lane. Oh, man, I wish I was out there smelling that. Oh, man, nothing beats the smell of burning rubber and nitromethane at a drag strip. Come on, make some noise. Give it up for the backup girls. Look at that. Oh, man, a fitting end to tonight's show. A little bit. Wow, look at the flames coming out of that thing. this is going to be a beautiful run, and look at the header flames coming out of that car. Here we go, folks. Uh-oh. Oh, what's he doing? What is he doing? Oh, I almost thought he was going to back up and do it over again. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our night of racing. Give it up. Give it up for Todd Barker, putting some pop in the tank tonight. All kinds of shaking going on underneath that machine. You folks are a part of history. Ladies and gentlemen, you folks are a part of history here at Byron Dragway this weekend. We have another day of racing tomorrow, but right now, as we speak, this is the most attended event. You folks set a record for attendance today and yesterday here at Byron Dragway, and the only way it happened is at the Meltdown Drags 2016. We thank you all for coming out tonight. The gates will be secured at 11 p.m., right around 11 o'clock, and folks, I ask that you please be courteous to your neighbors as you are leaving Byron Dragway. All right, please be courteous to your neighbors as you are leaving the grounds tonight. We will be doing it all over again tomorrow morning. Racing starts at 11 a.m. And we thank you all for coming out to the Playground of Power tonight. You are all a part of history. The Woodstock of drag racing is going on, and you folks are all a part of it. So thank you very much for coming out. My name's Mark, signing off. You guys got anything else you want to say? Anyone? Bueller? Bueller? All right. You folks have a safe drive back to wherever you got to go, and we will see you again tomorrow.